Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Kerry Dupree, and we've started off live at the waterhole today over in Oldonyo in Kenya with what looks like a nice big bachelor herd of elephant bulls that have come to join us for the start of the show today, and some giraffe in the background there. So just a reminder, folks, that this is a live and interactive experience. You can watch us on our app, and if you're watching this on the website, you can register to ask those questions, send through your comments, and join in the chitter chatter of the day. There is also a QR code and a WhatsApp number that will come up on screen as well, so you can also send through those comments by our WhatsApp line and by also using the QR code on screen. So on our directors team today in MC, we have Gwyn and Mika, and on tech we have Simba. So yeah, it is a rather chilly day today in Johannesburg, I must say. We had a little bit of rainfall last week on Thursday and Friday. So today we are looking at lows of 5 degrees and highs of 16 degrees. But yeah, rather cold and chilly day in Johannesburg. I've got my hot water bottle with me. I've been snacking on some peanuts and some coffee. I'd love to know what snacks you have with you for today's Live at the Waterhole show. I've been off of Live at the Waterhole for a couple of days, so I'd also love to know what your highlights of the week have been. What has been happening live at the Waterhole? So lovely just watching these big elephant bulls coming down for a drink. I see that little chick over in Salati, the black eagle or Verreaux's eagle chick, has been growing and fledging quite well, strengthening those little wings of it. A nice, interesting eland sighting here at Oldonyo a few days ago, 2 days ago, with an eland that looked like he had a very fancy grass toupee over his head. Nice, big, bulky male eland strutting his stuff and showing off with his latest bush attire. But otherwise, at our other locations on Africam, it seems like elephants have been the flavor of the day. Lots of elephant pool parties going on, lots of elephants coming in to drink as the conditions start to dry up in some of our locations. All these watering holes become very popular with the wildlife and the animals all coming in to have a very good drink. So yeah, looking forward to seeing what else we have on the show today. So we have some comments coming through here. So Vivette, thanks for your comment. Can't wait to see my elephants, Vivette. I think elephants will definitely not disappoint you today. It seems like we've had lots of elephants at all of our locations on the Africam cameras lately. So I'm sure we will get some more elephants, Vivette. Thank you for sending your comment. Joanne Miller is sending her regards. Happy Monday, Joanne. Thank you for joining us today. We also have Harriet Hodgins that is sending her greetings to all the Wild Earth Chitter Chatters as well as the FC team. I hope you're having a lovely day in Cape Town, Harriet. Hope you are having some nice sunshine. This morning was quite a gloomy, cold day in Joburg. The sun has come out now, thank goodness, but still rather chilly. I'm still in my slippers, keeping very warm. Unlike these elephants over in Oldonyo, it looks like a nice summer's day in Oldonyo. Bit of cloud cover, not too much doom and gloom. Dark Main Lover, thank you for your comment. Happy Monday to you too. Dark Main Lovers wishing a happy Monday to everyone, as well as our FC team and Mika. I also can't wait to see what a fantastic show we have ahead of us today. So thank you, Dark Main Lover. It is a lovely day. Oh, and that sun is coming out and glowing on these elephant bulls. It's quite a big bachelor group here. Nice to see there's not too much politics. They all seem to be very happily drinking amongst each other. Not giving much space for any other animals to come down for a drink, though, I must say. This poor giraffe probably dying for a drink. They'll have to wait until these Ellies move off. Fuzzy Dunlop, I also hope that One Ton might show his presence today. So One Ton is one of the famous elephant tuskers that does frequent this watering hole. He's quite an impressive specimen and one of the last tusker elephant bulls left, or one of the few last tuskers left in this area. He seems to frequent this pan from time to time. He has a bit of a loop, but sometimes between once a week or maybe every 10 days. Sometimes we don't see him for a few weeks and then he pitches up. Every time I have seen One Ton on the show, though, he is always very quick. He doesn't hang around like these elephant bulls. He normally comes in and off he goes, hoping that there are no other elephants around. Otherwise, he does put the younger elephant bulls in their place as well and asserts his dominance, which he has every right to. Oop. The giraffe coming down just on the left as well. There could be 4 or 5 giraffe around, but I don't think these giraffe are going to get a chance to come in for a drink at this watering hole while these elephant bulls are around. Mr. Elemental, thank you for your comment. Apparently it is very chilly in Perth in Western Australia, so you are feeling our pain, Mr. Elemental. The cold weather is not so great for the joints, so keep warm, folks. Keep your bodies moving in this winter period. I find that does help quite a bit. Otherwise, the longer you're stagnant for, the more cold that cold definitely gets into your bones. Animals do feel the cold as well in winter. Some of the older elephant bulls and older giraffe bulls might also struggle with their joints, just like us humans do. Ooh, another big bull has come to the waterhole. So yeah, animals are very similar to us humans and definitely move slower. I know those baboons over in Valverfonden, when BK and I were last there a few months ago, the baboons were only coming down from their baboon roosting tree around like 7:15, 7:20. I was horrified that they got out of bed so late, those naughty baboons. But when it is freezing cold on a cold morning in Valverfonden or some of these other private reserves, it is rather chilly. We all like to have a good sleep in. So Deb from Pennsylvania, US, welcome. Thank you for joining us today. We have some more comments coming through. Duncan, thank you for joining us as well. Duncan's also saying hello and wishing everyone a great afternoon. We have Erica Oldno that says her neighbor's cat, Marabis, has arrived and been waiting for the show to start. Oh, Erica, sounds like you've got a little company there for the show today. I guess it would be nice to have a little kitty cat lap warmer sitting on your lap while you watch Live at the Waterhole, keeping you nice and warm, especially on a cold day like today. We've got another floppy-eared elephant friend here. So there's a few big elephant bulls that have come through to this watering hole that tend to have slightly floppy ears. They often can get that cartilage of theirs broken while fighting with other elephant bulls or while moving through the very thick vegetation. Some eland also could come to the watering hole, but there's a few oryx waiting on the periphery for a drink.
This is an unbelievable afternoon.
The Wild Earth Impact Foundation is a non-profit that uses the power of wildlife storytelling as a force for good. We create sustainable development projects that showcase conservation stories, empower people, and inspire environmental action. As a registered South African PBO, you can make a tax-deductible donation to the Wild Earth Impact Foundation. To find out more, visit our website.
My full name is Mpho Tikani. I grew up in Soweto. My first animal that I filmed said to dog. Okay, no, it's my first animal that I filmed, I think it was an impala. Best sighting ever, I would say it was actually this year, 2024. But it was at this Cedric when we had Muluwati and TP on a warthog kill. I think we have to cut it.
This is what they call a shambi, a family, a whole herd of elephants.
But nature is beyond amazing. Nature is just everything.
We'd love to hear from you. Questions, comments about biology, Africa, safari. She's using her tail like a monkey.
Out here, every wild moment counts, and as a wild earth explorer, you won't miss a thing.
Incredible.
Watch the Wild Earth channel ad-free 24/7 and rewind if you want to catch something again. Enjoy behind-the-scenes videos, fireside chats, and early access to travel offers. The best way to stay connected and be part of the Wild Earth family.
So if you have not been to KwaZulu-Natal and you are a fishing fan, definitely recommend paying a visit to Lake Jozini. Oh, some more oryx are coming in. Maybe they'll get a chance for a drink. So Wendy H, thank you for your comment, Wendy. Hello, and it is good to have you with us. I am looking forward to what's on the show as well, so thank you for joining us today. Looks like we've got some more giraffe joining us. Oh, shame. They are like circling. The oryx and giraffe are all waiting patiently for a drink. Mr. Elemental, I agree with you there. It is lovely to listen to the sounds of these elephants here. And talking about the sounds, I think I'll have a bit of a quiet moment so we can just enjoy the sounds of these elephants as they slurp up the water at this watering hole. Just enjoying a bit of a quiet moment to listen to these elephants at the waterhole, but sounds like they've decided to go quiet. But isn't this a cool setting here? We had a zebra, giraffe, and an elephant all in one frame. So I must say I do love Old Donyo. For me, it is one of the locations on the Africam cameras where you can get so many different species all in one shot. Looks like these elephants are moving around a little bit. But yeah, I've seen 7 different species at this watering hole before, all in one shot. How incredible is that? How many bulls do we have here? It's about at least 6 or 7 elephant bulls, and as I said earlier, they must be part of the same bachelor group, otherwise there'd be a lot more politics, shall we say. Politics or arguing, trumpeting, pushing each other, bit of rough housing as elephants do. So these must be a nice bachelor group that's all probably moving and feeding together, learning from one another. Some more comments coming through. So we have Wild at Heart. Good afternoon, Wild at Heart. Thank you for joining us. Apparently it is a sunny day in Hermanus, nice and warm at 22 degrees Celsius. So enjoy that nice warm weather, Wild at Heart. Send some our way in Johannesburg, please. I'd love a sunny day, nice sunny day to hang out by the pool. But I could not imagine anything worse than being in a swimming pool in this miserable cold weather. All right, folks, talking about Tau, why don't we head across to Tau and see what our crocodiles are up to. So apparently we got an update from one of our viewers. Tinas, thank you for that update that the crocodiles at Tau were mating yesterday afternoon, which is quite interesting. I thought maybe there was only male crocodiles in this pan, but seems like there possibly could be a female. I know male crocodiles do assert dominance towards another male by also mounting one another. Elephants do the same thing. It's all a big dominance show, but there is a chance there could be female crocodiles in this pan as well. It is quite difficult to sex crocodiles, male and females. Males generally tend to have much bigger bodies than females, and for me the only way I can easily identify or be certain on the sex of the male and female is kind of like snakes. If the crocodiles are caught to be relocated, then you can actually check to see if they're males and females. Very similar of sexing in snakes, but also if you find a female that has a nest that is actively guarding her nest, the crocodile, then yeah, that is a great way to sex the crocodiles. But I was just mentioning about how this is not exactly the ideal environment for crocodiles to lay their eggs. The crocodiles need to have nice sandy beaches or sandy banks in order to dig a hole and safely secure and bury their eggs. But crocodiles have been around for millions and millions of decades, so they are very well adapted to surviving in any conditions. So I wouldn't be surprised if they made a nest somewhere close by. These crocodiles. So thank you, Tinas, for that comment. Very cool to get an update of what these crocodiles have been up to over Tau in Madikwe. Ari, thank you for joining us this afternoon. Ari is sending her good afternoon greetings to everyone on the team, so thank you for your greetings there. Wildlife Lady, yes, that scene at Old Donyo was a very special one for sure. Lovely to see so many elephants and wild animals all in one place. I was actually just doing a bit of research on crocodiles this morning. I've been speaking a lot about crocodiles that we get in Africa. These are obviously the Nile crocodiles, but in West Africa you do get 3 different crocodile species. The West African Nile crocodile, there's a few different names for them, but West African Nile crocodile or Central African Nile crocodile. You get the little dwarf crocodile as well as the slender snouted crocodile. So yeah, very cool to dive into all these different reptile and crocodile species that we get in Africa. It's interesting the different colorations of these crocodiles. They all have unique colors and spot patterns. The lifespan of your average crocodile is anything between about 70 to 100 years in some species. So these crocodiles do need to have fresh water, generally occur along rivers, lakes, wetlands, even in brackish water. And some crocodiles do even tolerate salty water, just like the saltwater crocodiles. It's highly adaptable species to adapting to their environment. The big dinosaurs of the modern world. Enjoying a nice suntan. One seems to have a bit of movement every now and then. So these crocodiles are ectothermic, so that means they do need to absorb their heat from the sun. So that's why they are sun tanning or solar paneling themselves right now, absorbing as much heat from the sunshine as they can. Oh, looks like we have a common moorhen also down here. The birding at Tau is incredible. You can sit and get quite a nice bird list here at Tau. If you sat for the day, we have a very high number of aquatic birds that do frequent this pan. So Deb D, thank you for your comment. Deb D said there has been some romance in the water here at Tau. Yes, Deb D, seems like there has been a little bit of romancing going on between the crocodiles here at Tau. Love is in the air. Martina Schmidt, thank you for your comment. Thank you, welcome, and thank you for joining us. And apparently, so Martina is asking, the king cheetah, son of Heidi, had an accident. Apparently they took him for a veterinary care. Soon he will be back with his mother. So Martina, I'm not sure which king cheetah this is that you're talking about. So if you would like to send us some more details, I would love to find out which king cheetah had a bit of an accident that needs medical attention. Okay. Okay, thank you so much. Just getting some info from Gwen. So the king cheetah that we're referring to is there's the two cheetah at the Hoedspruit Endangered Species Center. So there's Tammy, the female with the cubs, which Joanne Mello is already asking, how is Tammy and the cubs doing? So I saw a video uploaded a few days ago. Those cubs are doing perfectly fine and seem to be growing up very quickly. Very mischievous little cheetah cubs. She has got her hands full there, little Tammy, but Heidi, I'm sure she will be on the mend and healing very quickly. Accidents do happen, especially with cheetah. They've got such soft bones and can get themselves into nasty situations, but I'm sure Heidi will be back in action and recovering very soon. So interesting to see these water buck. They're being quite brave in the water here. Maybe it's because they can see all of the crocodiles out of the water. But I don't think I would be hanging out so far into the water here if I knew there were some crocodiles close by.
For years, we've shared virtual wildlife. Now, let's experience it for real. I'm Lauren Arthur, and I'd love to show you my amazing home here in the Greater Kruger of South Africa. This 5-night journey is an exclusive connection to my piece of untamed Africa. I live here in these gorgeous landscapes surrounded by epic wildlife. The wild is calling, so come and join me.
So Mr. Elemental sent through a comment. Apparently there was some love in the air yesterday with some fish eagle also procreating. I wonder where these fish eagle were, Mr. Elemental. Was it maybe fish eagle at, I know Tembe. Tembe does have a pair of fish eagle that do hang out there from time to time. I know there was a little fish eagle chick there last year that we were watching. He caught a few fish. So where was this fish eagle that you're speaking of, Mr. Elemental? So yes, seems like love is in the air at some of our locations. Oh, there we go. So I can see one of our shelled ducks, folks. You can see this duck with the white head is a shelled duck. So it's probably, that's a female. I'm sure the male is somewhere close by. Shelled ducks can often be very easily confused with the Egyptian geese. They do look quite similar unless you look very closely at their heads. So lovely to see some shelled ducks here at Tau. So Spas Inkov, thank you for your comments. Spas is asking if I've ever witnessed crocodiles mating. So just getting a bit of an update from Heidi's cub, from Gwyn. Thanks, Gwyn. So apparently Heidi's cub has been separated from the rest of the cubs just to keep him safe and sound, but everything has been, the situation has been under control and the cub is doing well. So that's just a bit of an update there. So yeah, hopefully he'll heal quickly as wild animals do, like very quick and speedy recovery and back to normal. Thanks for the info and update there. Wildebeest also coming down to have a bit of a drink. There's our shelled ducks. You can see our shelled duck on the still Egyptian geese. I was hoping to find the male shelled duck, but looks like we just have another pair of Egyptian geese. Hopefully that male hasn't been eaten by crocodiles. So Spasiankov was asking if I've ever witnessed mating crocodiles. So no, Spas, I actually, well, last year, again around this time at Tau, there was some very strange crocodile interactions. I thought it was two males though, so I've never actually witnessed crocodiles mating. I could have seen crocodiles mating here at Tau, but again, I was a bit unsure on the sex because they were both two very big crocodiles. They both looked like males to me, but it could have been a mating pair. But what I would love to see is the mating display of crocodiles. So when male crocodiles are trying to attract the females, they dip their bodies down in the water. They have their head and their tails kind of raised and elevated over the water, and they use these vibrations in their skin or in those scoots of theirs to somehow make the water vibrate and bounce above their bodies. So it's really incredible. They also open their mouths and they'll also like flick water out of their mouths too. So crocodiles are very elaborate and interesting mating display that I would love to be able to watch. But no, I've never actually seen this display, and I guess I can say I've sort of seen crocodiles mating once, and they obviously do mate in the water. So there's quite an acrobatic trick for these poor crocodiles to procreate. So Melanistic Marble, thanks for your comment. Yes, Melanistic Marble, this is a lovely waterhole. There's lots of wildlife here too. We've got zebra, waterbuck, wildebeest, crocodiles. Often we have elephants coming down, and always a pray and a hope that maybe we'll get lions. We do get lions in Madikwe Game Reserve here. Lions, some cheetah. You know, there are a pair of cheetah that sometimes visit this waterhole. So always lots of activity, lots happening. Oh, and impala, don't forget those impala as well. Have some warthogs. The warthogs like to come down here for a mud bath. Lots of nice warthog rubbing posts. for the warthogs to rub and scrub themselves down after a bit of a mud bath. So I've got another update on our little cheetah, Heidi's little cheetah cub. So thank you, Martina, for the update. So apparently the cub sprang off of the tree and fell on its head. Poor little thing. Those little cheetah cubs are very adventurous when they're young, so I'm not surprised if they can get themselves injured like that. They're like children. They're a magnet to all hard surfaces. So after the cheetah didn't play any. There was. It sounds like a lot of playing. Sounds like this incident was very much caused by this little cheetah being quite proactive and playing quite a lot. But they put that little cheetah under sedation, and everything went smoothly, and the cheetah cub is now recovering well. So Martina, thank you for your comment. When these little cheetah cubs get to the age of about a month to a year, they're very playful. Alrighty folks, why don't we head across to Founders Lodge and see what's happening there. What an amazing sighting! Got 2 rhinos here today over at Founders. We've managed to catch the perfect lunchtime drinking slot of the rhinos. It's not always, we're not always lucky enough to get the rhinos coming down, but it is lovely to see them coming down for their afternoon drink. And looks like we have got a crow in the background there, also sitting and waiting to see what opportunistic kill we can find. So I think it's the same mother and calf combo that last week came down for a drink, or the week before, and this datura plant, the little baby rhino was also planting this datura plant on his nose and playing around with it a little bit as well. So yeah, these little creatures are quite playful. Oh, baboons. There's a baboon. So we heard the blacksmith lapwing alarm calling there, which can often be an early alarm or early warning system for any predators as well as baboons that might be in the area. They could have their little chick that is close by, or a nest. They're trying to keep these baboons away from their offspring. It's a shame. This pan is drying up quite a bit. You can see it's very muddy, which is very much favourable for warthogs. Just see the warthogs over there. This looks like a scout. So if it's not a troop of baboons together, it could be a scout. So the scouts are young male baboons or older individuals that will go out patrolling, looking for new areas to take over, new territories or new home ranges. Warthog. See, this female elephant's ears are very aware and alert of what's happening around her. I love how dexterous and mobile these rhinos' ears are. They have to be very aware of predators, and they'll turn those ears in the directions in order to listen all around them for what's happening, so that she knows what's happening, who's coming, who's going, in order to protect her little one. So we have another comment or question from Man in Black. So Man in Black is asking, can wildebeest and zebra fight for waterholes since it is dry season? So yes, Man in Black, wildebeest and zebra do compete. All animals during this dry season will be competing for water, for food. Unfortunately for wildebeest, zebra can be quite cheeky, quite aggressive, and wildebeest will be chased off of a watering hole, because zebra do take over water holes quite a lot. So the poor wildebeest don't stand much of a chance. It'll kind of be like an all-you-can-eat buffet. Everyone just trying to get a chance to drink, but the zebra can be quite dominating at a water hole, just like with elephants. They kind of take over a lot. See, this rhino has its tracking device in order to be able to monitor and track the movement of these individuals. We have a question here from Josh Drown. Thank you for your question. Josh is asking, are there no predators at Founders Lodge? So Josh, there are predators at Founders. We do have the big five on this reserve. So they do have lions, leopard, cheetah, as well as hyena. So some of these predators would take a chance. If they got a free chance at a young rhino by itself, they would definitely take a chance to take down a baby rhino, although not many predators would want to mess with a female rhino. She can be quite aggressive, very defensive and protective over her young one. Oh. We have little Egyptian geese here that have found a nice snuggly spot right in front of the hide. Oh, these would make for very lovely photos if you were sitting in that hide right now. I wonder if they have a nest. So we've got another comment from Martina Smith. Thank you for your comment. Apparently the mating fish eagle pair was at Camelthorn watering hole in Botswana. Okay. Yeah, sounds about right, Martina. There's always lots of fish eagle activity there over in Botswana at Camelthorn, one of our new locations. So yeah, seems like love is in the air for the large birds. Oh. So we're just talking. This blacksmith is not happy with this baboon being here. So as I mentioned, there's probably a blacksmith lapwing's nest somewhere close by. That is why it is dive bombing this poor baboon. Sorry folks, I think we had a little bit of a camera issue there at Founders, as our baboon was being dive bombed by a lapwing. It can be quite a nuisance there. But I think I'd also be very protective over my nest. Baboons were close by, so baboons are omnivores and they are very well known for raiding ground nesting birds' nests. Sounds like we've got, could be a pied wagtail that's calling somewhere close to the camera. Perfect place for some hippos. I wonder if there are any hippos around here at Jackie's Pan in the Sangha Sands. So another comment from Darkmane Lover. So Darkmane Lover, I think we're all very glad that the little cheetah cub is safe from its fall. Alrighty folks, we had a request to watch the vulture feeding in Victoria Falls, so why don't we head across to Victoria Falls, Zimbabwe to watch the vulture feeding. So looks like we've just caught the vulture feeding here in Victoria Falls, Zimbabwe. It's every day they bring out some food for these vultures, and it is a feeding frenzy, just like we were talking about how in dry season the watering holes are also very much in demand, and it becomes a bit of a frenzy to get water. These vultures are now in an absolute frenzy to try to fight for as much food as they can find. So these are mostly your white-backed vultures. We have a few hooded vultures in here, and as you can see, the very tall birds with black and white color that look like they are wearing a very fancy suit are the marabou storks, also hoping that with the advantage of having those long legs that they can steal a bit of meat here and there. So I know a lot of people ask whether the feeding here at these vulture restaurants is, if that's a wise choice. But for me, any place that is a safe place for vultures to eat, to feed, is always good. A lot of these vulture species are critically endangered, and for them to find areas where they have enough food or it's safe for them to eat is quite difficult. A lot of these vultures die because of poisoning, a lot of poison-related deaths. Power lines is a huge cause of their deaths as well as habitat loss. There's not so many big towering trees for these vultures to nest in anymore. So yeah, these vultures are in high demand, unfortunately, in the witchcraft world. Yeah, a lot of their body parts are used for traditional beliefs. So yeah, any place that they can be fed and monitored safely is a very good safe haven for these very special birds. They are like the free garbage disposal system of the animal world. They have very highly acidic stomachs that can digest and process a lot of very unpalatable meat and carrion that would otherwise kill other species. So vultures are such an important and crucial role in our ecosystem.
This unfolds in front of you.
My full name is Tikani. Best part of my job is coming to see nature. Worst part of my job is logging. That's the worst thing ever, because you have to log amount of footage. You sit in front of that computer and yeah, you think of deleting the footage, but no, they need the footage. If I want a camel, probably a soccer player. I know some people don't believe me, but I'm very good, and I'm very fast.
Hyenas love bathing.
Every month, something wild lands in your inbox. From rare sightings and behind-the-scenes secrets to expert stories, seasonal changes, and exclusive travel opportunities, the Wild Earth Journal is your free monthly mailer, packed with the magic of the wild straight from the field. It's fun, it's free, it's full of surprises. Sign up now on the Wild Earth website.
Restaurant called the Boma Restaurant, which feeds many people, it's quite an attraction. And they'll often have game meat there, so often they'll actually throw out whole leg bones with a bit of meat that's left on for the vultures. These vultures, anything in the wild does need to have a natural diet. Do need to eat all the nitty-gritties, the intestines, bones, tendons, ligaments. They do have quite a varied menu that they get here on a daily basis. It's always rather entertaining watching these vultures fighting for every little morsel of food that they get. So Lee from the UK is asking if I have ever seen spurwing geese at this waterhole. Lee, I have seen spurwing here before, and you will find spurwing geese along the Zambezi River, so it wouldn't be uncommon to have spurwing at this watering hole. The common water birds that you might find at this waterhole, we get quite a lot of cattle egrets. There were little egrets, intermediate egrets, sacred ibis is a common bird, waterfowl that you might get here, hardy-dar ibis, your little black crakes, common moorhens, this watering hole is quite well known for the vultures. The vultures will often hang around here quite a lot. So birds of prey, if you're lucky, I think we've had some pretty good birds of prey sightings here, and also if you have your binoculars glued to your face and you watch out close enough, you could get some kestrels and falcons also moving through these areas on their migratory paths through to Zambia. So we have another question from Spas Inkov about these vultures. So Spas is asking, are vultures sometimes seen at Victoria Falls town? And what about marabou storks? Would they nest in urban areas? So Spas, marabou storks are known to nest in urban areas, even from time to time in power lines, which I don't think is always the wisest choice, but marabou storks will nest in power lines. They'll also nest in colonies as well if they can find areas where they can nest together. I know big trees just like vultures, but yes, you can see vultures throughout Vic Falls area. They generally tend to hang out on the periphery of the town, and more in the wilderness wildlife areas, but sometimes you can see marabou storks at the, unfortunately there's a big dump at Victoria Falls, just as with any town. At the dumps you can find marabou storks there, but the vultures will tend to hang out more in the national parks, which is probably better for them. Unfortunately when crossing over from different areas, that is sometimes when these vultures do get hit on those power lines. That's why it's so great that here in South Africa Eskom has employed a very good technique of making these vulture safe power lines, which they've put in some very heavily trafficked vulture zones. Oh, here we go. So we can see here some bones here. So we had someone asking earlier about what these vultures are fed. So you can see lots of bones that are on the ground here, perfect for those hooded vultures. Check out those hooded vultures using that very narrow thin beak of theirs to rip away at all the tiny little tissues and tendons. These vultures, all different vulture species, they all feed on different parts of a carcass. Obviously the big white-backed vultures, they have very heavy-duty, hard bills that can rip open and rip flesh, but then your smaller little bearded vultures, they have their very thin little narrow beaks, which is perfect for getting in at all the tiny little tissues and tendons. So dark mane lover, yes, it is exciting to watch these vultures feeding. I'm glad they've got full bellies. If you are interested in vulture feeding, I would definitely recommend. Oh, these two hooded vultures are not happy with each other. Little vulture fight club. So if anyone is fond of vultures, I would highly recommend booking a spot at Golden Gates National Park to go and watch the vulture feeding there. You can get incredible sightings of those hooded vultures, as hooded vultures and bearded vultures. Bearded vultures are quite special vulture species, also critically endangered. And quite special in the way that they feed, those bearded vultures. Their specialty and what they love the most is bone marrow. So they'll actually take bones up, they'll fly up with a bone very high above the rocks and drop that bone onto the rocks to crack the bones open to get access to that very juicy bone marrow inside the bones. So Jive Bunny, thank you for your comment. So lots of chitter chatter about Heidi's little cub, the cheetah from the Hoedspruit Endangered Species Center that had a little bit of an injury. Of course, cheetah cubs, when they are young, they are very playful and mischievous and sometimes get themselves into a little bit of trouble. So I'm really glad to hear that Kirsten Henry actually gave you all a bit of info about the vet arriving and the cheetah cub being helped. Jive Bunny appreciated being able to listen to Kirsten and enjoy a bit of a speech from Kirsten there. So Jive Bunny, glad that you enjoyed all of that info. I think it's great for everyone to be up to date with what's happening at the locations, and I hope that cheetah has learnt its lesson now, not to be too mischievous and playful when high up on a tree. Not always the wisest choice. Jive Bunny, greetings. Thank you for joining us. I hope you've enjoyed the vulture feeding today here, Jive Bunny. It's been really cool getting up close and personal with these vultures. I love how the hooded vultures, they've got such interesting different heads. You can see these vultures, most of them will have featherless faces, and that is so that they can very easily get their heads into the nitty-gritty places of carcasses, and they don't have to worry about their feathers getting dirty. So once these vultures have finished feeding, they'll often go down to the water, have a bit of a drink to help wash down all their food, start the digestion process, and often they'll sun themselves.
My name is Amy, and today we're going to be doing things a little bit differently.
Even a hyena coming into the action as well now. Oh my word! She's stalking the hyena now. Leopard, hyena, lion, all together in one shot. Oh. This is action-packed.
Step into the heart of Africa from the comfort of your home.
Female leopard tracks over here.
Join our expert guides for a live 3-hour safari where every moment is real, unscripted, and unforgettable. Ask questions.
Animals rely on their senses.
Share your thoughts and be part of the experience as we explore together. Safari Live.
to us about, we were just talking about the bearded vultures just now. Apparently Jive Bunny has been following those bearded vultures, the nest that is in the Drakensberg, and the parents of those little vulture, or the vulture parents, have got 2 eggs. And that was the last 2 to 3 weeks ago. Thank you for that update, Jive Bunny. Good to hear that those Drakensberg bearded vultures are successfully breeding and have some eggs. Hopefully they will successfully raise those little chicks. I think the bearded vulture and the condor, probably my 2 most favorite vultures. Very beautiful vultures. I do like the Egyptian vulture, but that yellow little face of theirs does also give me the heebie-jeebies a little bit. So I'd love our viewers to send in which is your favorite vulture species. So my favorite vulture species, I'd have to say, is bearded vulture and the condor. Which is your favorite vulture species? It's quite hard because they're not the most attractive of birds, but yeah, definitely an interesting question that I'm going to send out to our viewers. So Darkman Lover, yes, I have heard about your Californian condors. I did have a guest on a horse safari about 5 or 6 years ago that she was a part of a reintroduction program for those condors. They were trying to release the last few pairs of breeding condors into the wild. So I hope your Californian condors, that their populations have increased. I know in South America there is a very healthy population of condors in the Andes Mountains, although they're still quite difficult to find them, and numbers are depleting. So there are very incredible birds in some of their nesting spots over in the Andes. You get these areas where you can pull off on the side of the roads on the mountains there and just sit and wait, and people sit for hours with their giant cameras just waiting to get a glimpse of these condors. So those condors, they also nest in the very mountain kind of like cliffs. So they nest right on the cliffs there, and the perfect habitat for them. So yeah, quite specialized birds of prey, those condors. Oh, look at these little elephants. So I was just watching some videos earlier today about the little elephants getting stuck in the mud. This is the time where, just like our little mischievous cheetah cub got into a little bit of an injury, same with these elephants. These young baby elephants sometimes wander a little bit too far into sticky, muddy situations, which sometimes ends up in some sort of outside influence help being needed. So I know in quite a few places you end up having the reserve teams that have to come in with tractors and chains to try and pull not just baby elephants, but sometimes sub-adults, sometimes elephant cows. I've seen rhinos also getting stuck in the mud. So definitely a time that you need to be very cautious and wary of all that sticky mud in the dry season. Alrighty folks, why don't we head back to Eldonyo and see what's happening in Kenya. Looks like we've got a little bit of... It does definitely seem like those elephants are not happy. So we were just talking about earlier in the show about how elephants and zebra are both very dominating at watering holes, and you just saw some very interesting interspecies interaction there between those zebra wanting to come and drink. I think these poor zebra are dying of thirst and might have outnumbered those elephants. But we'll just listen to this chaos. I don't know if the chaos is over, but yeah, those two elephant bulls were not happy that the zebra were all coming in large numbers to try and have a drink at this watering hole. As you mentioned, it is dry season. A bit of crazy moment here. These two elephants are not happy to be sharing their watering hole with all these zebra, but I think they're slightly outnumbered, those elephants. The typical clashing of schedules here. These elephants do not want to leave, but the zebra are very thirsty and persistently trying to come back to this watering hole. Isn't this crazy? True African moment of clashing of the beasts. So Joanne Mello, I definitely agree with you here. This does look like a truly African watering hole. But a bit of busy time here with all these zebra. Shame. These two elephant bulls are not chuffed. They are not happy. They're not done drinking, and the zebra are desperately looking for water, so they don't want to leave. And again, two very dominating characters between elephants and zebra, both very dominating at water holes. So rather entertaining watching these guys. Oh my goodness, this has been quite entertaining. So Jive Bunny, yes, it is a bit of a standoff between the bodybuilders of the animal world. Yeah, as Ralph would say, apparently, the bodybuilders bar. The zebra have the upper hand because there are more zebra than there are elephants, but I wouldn't mess with these two elephant bulls. They already seem a bit frustrated, so they're taking their frustration out on all these zebra, taking up their space. in the dry season there's enough water to go around, but as these water sources are dwindling, it is becoming more and more difficult for these animals to find water, and that's why there's more tension. Like these water holes. So you see, as these zebra are very sneakily trying to regain their water hole rights, the oryx are also moving in there to get a quick chance at a drink, because those oryx are a little bit more bashful, a little bit more shy than the zebra, so there's no chance the oryx would come in to drink with these two elephant bulls chasing everyone off. Yeah, the zebra, Erica, the zebra are quite brave and desperate to drink, but they keep running away and they keep coming back and they keep running away. I think they know that they will still be outpowered by the elephants, but the numbers of these zebra are a lot more than what of the elephants, so they're very brave, these zebra, definitely, for sure, Erica. It is giving all the other species at the waterhole a chance to have a drink, because these elephant boys can stay here for hours just enjoying themselves, drinking, splashing, mud bathing, while there's other animals out there that are also thirsty and waiting for a drink. But these are also young bulls, so we all know with young males they probably have elevated levels of testosterone and feeling very good about themselves. We have a lot of comments coming through about the zebra and elephant battle that's going on. Mr. Elemental and Badger Bud. I'm not quite sure who's winning here. I feel like it's pretty much at a tie between these elephants and the zebra. Very entertaining to watch. So Jive Bunny, yes, oryx do have quite an advantage. They have those horns of theirs, but Jive Bunny, oryx are, as I mentioned, a lot more timid and shy than zebra. I think the oryx are just trying to blend in with this harem of zebra to get a chance to have a drink. Oryx wouldn't be as brazen and confident as the zebra are. So obviously big migration starting to form. That's why the zebra are here in large numbers. They probably haven't drunk for quite some time. That's why they are so desperate and thirsty. So we've got some vulture comments coming through. So Dark Mane Lover in Africa. Dark Mane Lover's favorite bird is the lapid-faced vulture. Yes, I do agree with a lapid-faced vulture. They are very fascinating and big vultures, so not surprised on that one there. Martina, thanks for your comment. Your favorite bird is the white-backed vulture. Again, nice common species, so it can be seen everywhere. And then we also had some Spas Inkov's favorite bird vulture would be the white-backed vulture, as well as the Egyptian vulture in Europe. You do get the Egyptian vulture in Africa, but again, they are quite rare in some areas. So you have a look at this one elephant. He's got quite an unusual tusk. I've seen this elephant here before. So have a look at the tusk here. Is actually curved and bent underneath his trunk. I've never seen that with a male before, but it's quite common in females for their tusks to be bent and strangely curved like that. Especially in forest elephants, you see it quite a lot. Probably would hinder this elephant bull's ability to, one, fight, so I don't think he's going to be a very dominant bull, and two, feed, so it would really affect his ability to feed and fight. That tusk does not look very useful, curving underneath like that. Again, it can be a deformity. It could have been in a fight and it dislodged his tusk and started forming and growing very strangely. But yeah, very interesting feature of this one big elephant bull. So Brian.
I met this remarkable rhino bull, whose name is Samson, last year in a place of extraordinary beauty, history and story. I'm going back there to see him in October, and I think you should come with me to his mysterious mountain fastness.
At Wild Earth, we believe every story has the power to create change. That's why we've launched the Wild Earth Impact Foundation, a non-profit dedicated to conservation and social impact. By showcasing conservation stories, we can change lives, protect nature, and empower communities. We have partnered with Empowers Africa to accept tax-deductible donations from US donors. Your donation will help fund critical programs that support our mission. Join us and be part of the change.
My name is Takudzwa Panda Msesani. My scariest moment is when it happened twice. The other time I was with Cedric and the other time I was with Steve. And all those times it was a black mamba. My favorite meal in camp is gonna be burger and chips.
I feel like they're just, these elephants are indulging in their victory because they're not even drinking. And look at these zebra. There's so many zebra and so many other animals around, desperate for some water, and these elephants are just very casually standing there, kind of, yeah, really indulging in this victory that they have just won, the watering hole. So Wildlife Lady has sent her favorite vulture in. So Wildlife Lady's favorite vulture is the hooded vulture. Hooded vultures are Again, very sneaky little creatures, very sneaky little birds. They're always getting in there to all the tiny little cracks and crevices with those very thin beaks of theirs, pulling out all those small little tissues and tendons. So it's so interesting how these vulture species, so the hooded vulture, for example, they would never be able to get into a kill if it wasn't for the bigger vulture species like your white-backed vulture. You need those bigger vulture species, white-backed vultures and marabous, to rip open these carcasses so they can come in and feed. And these two elephant bulls are greeting each other. I always find this greeting of elephants that they're very tactile. A lot of their communication is through infrasound, through the ground, through vibrations, and also through touch and smell. I don't think humans would be too open to communication and greetings as with elephants. I don't know if it would be very well accepted if we just started touching someone's face to greet them. Especially after COVID, maybe not the wisest choice. Just listening to these elephants greeting each other. Tinas, we have a question from Tinas. So Tinas, I'll be on the Wild Earth Drives next month. My next stint will be at Mabulla. Really looking forward to getting to Mabulla after Eric's sightings. I've been watching Wild Earth a bit and following all Eric's sightings. I've been very jealous. Eric has had some incredible sightings recently at Mabulla. Seems like those aardwolves have been out and about. There's another den site that he's found an active aardwolf, so they've had lots of aardwolf sightings. Cheetah boys have been quite busy. Those lions have been out and about making kills, and Eric has seen the elephants quite a lot as well. So dying to get back to Wild Earth and do some live drives at Mabulla. These elephants are so greedy, they're not even drinking from the water. And this poor zebra are desperately waiting for their chance for a drink. So Erica has sent through her comment. Yes, Erica, poor zebra, I do feel sorry for them right now because the elephants have now taken over the waterhole. No one can drink, and they're not even drinking themselves. So very, very greedy, these elephants. We've got some white-browed sparrow weavers that have just flown down for a drink. And sounds like some zebra might also be trying to come in for a drink as well. So it's very interesting when you're watching elephants like this at a waterhole. You pick up on some of their body language, those head shakes, the ear tosses, trumpeting, ear flapping, and the mock charges. There's a lot of the behavior that you might pick up at a waterhole that can help you understand their body language a bit more when you're on foot or walking with elephants or on a drive. Is the behavior they have towards other elephants. So Mercedes Bean, thanks for your comment. And yes, Mercedes Bean, we were talking about meeting and greetings in elephants, in the elephant world. I don't think humans would take so well to being sniffed when you meet someone or being touched all over the face and head. I don't know if that would be, so acceptable. So definitely not a not a good method of greeting in the human world. Looks like we've got some more elephants coming to join us. These zebra better drink up as quickly as they can. Again, have a look at this interesting behavior. The male that's approaching had his head up a little bit, kind of giving a sniff, giving a smell. I'm sure he does know these individuals. So we've got a question from Dark Mane Lover. Dark Mane Lover's asking, lately there has been elephants killing rangers or naturalists. And I guess you're asking, are they trained to recognize danger on elephants and what could have caused this to happen? So Dark Mane Lover, I'm not too much aware of the recent killings of rangers or naturalists. I know this year and last year there were a lot of tourists killed by elephants, which is quite common. Well, quite common. Not necessarily common, but it does happen. Again, as a guide, as a naturalist, wildlife enthusiast, you get taught a lot about animal behavior, safety zones, danger zones, so that we know and predict animals' behavior before you bump into them, and this is to avoid these unnecessary situations. I know some of the tourists that have been killed recently, and again, it's uneducated people pushing limits with animals, maybe also acting in an unethical way. But when you don't know any better, I guess, you don't know that you're doing anything wrong. But so I know that in Zambia earlier this year there was a few tourists killed in Zambia, but they walked straight up to an elephant cow with babies. So of course that's never a good thing to do, even on a good day. So anyone who works in the wild with animals, it's always so important to, one, respect an animal's personal space, read their behavior and body language, and always leave an animal as you found them. You never want to alter an animal's behavior. Sorry, this elephant is splashing the zebra with water. It's quite entertaining. So again, a big problem is you never want to alter an animal's natural behavior to suit a human's benefit or gain. For example, for photography, some guides or self-driving clients might try to make noises, clicking sounds. I can't stand that, to get an animal to lift its head or react in a certain way so you get a better photo. For me, that's always a big no-no. You always need to leave an animal as you found it, act ethically, always have the animal's best interest at heart, and keep your personal space. Just because you can doesn't mean you must. So very important to always put the animal first. I hope that answers your question, Dark Mane Lover, about human-wildlife conflict. It does happen. We can just try our best to reduce it, and just respect animals' personal space, read their body language, but patience. I find patience is also so important. Sometimes when there's been an elephant acting aggressively towards a vehicle, it's maybe because a herd of elephants has been disturbed. Sometimes you just need to switch off your car, let the elephants cross, which not everyone always has patience for that. So often you separate breeding herds or females from their calves, then they can get upset, angry, chase your vehicle. So just patiently wait for the elephants to move out the way so that you can pass safely. Everyone's happy.
My name is Amy, and today we're going to be doing things a little bit differently.
What does it take to handle the wild? Balance. Determination. Focus.
Yaku!
And gear that can take a beating, so so you don't have to.
My name is Takudzwa Panda Msesani. I really want to film an artwork, and it has been my goal. I'll be just keeping my eyes open. The worst driver is James. He's driving, yeah. You gotta be holding on back in there, yeah? Like in bumps, and I mean, it happens when, these things happens when you're actually going for animals usually. But then, yeah, he's driving, yeah, you gotta put your seatbelt.
Join our expert guides at dawn for a live, immersive safari as the bush comes to life.
Found ourselves a chameleon, and look how he's changed color.
Every sunrise brings new discoveries.
Pound for pound, a leopard is one of the strongest cats around.
Ask questions, share your thoughts, and connect with nature live and in real time.
Great excitement, great happiness.
Start your day with adventure.
Some of you out there are brilliant at identifying hyenas.
Now, why do you think people have got this huge misunderstanding about reptiles?
Right in front of me there was the face of an astounded buffalo bull.
This is live and interactive, so everybody, if you have any questions and comments, please do send them through and let us know what you would like.
So Darkmane Lover, thank you for your response. I am glad that I managed to answer your question. I know it's been a lot of debate and a lot of videos coming up lately in the wildlife industry recently about ethics and how people react and respond to animals. And again, I think if you just live by a few certain principles, you will always make sure that you stay on the right side of wildlife. But I think respect is always such an important thing, to respect these incredible creatures that we get to enjoy being in their presence, and I think often that gets lost. It's always about the animal first, respecting these animals, respecting the boundaries that they have, and everyone can have a pleasurable experience just like we're having right now. I think it's such a privilege to be able to be watching this interesting scene that we have here of these zebra and elephants just going at each other. It's like a battle of the bullies. I do feel like these are two big bullies in the animal world. Zebra definitely bully a lot of other wildlife. They chase other animals away from food sources, waterholes, and elephants are probably the biggest bullies of the animal kingdom. Although hippos can also be quite nasty too. We were talking about earlier that hippo from the hide. There's a hippo, big male hippo, that lives in that waterhole at the hide that is very famously known for chasing wildlife away from the waterhole, which is something I've never heard of. A hippo that actually comes out of the water and chases waterbuck, kudu, buffalo all away from the waterhole, and he has even killed a buffalo. Imagine a hippo killing a buffalo. How crazy is that? At the hide in Zimbabwe, Wangi National Park. Crazy. Look at this zebra looking at us. So we've got another comment here from Kibeth. So Kibeth is commenting about the travesty that has been happening in Tanzania with the migration. There's been some videos going around with tourists blocking these wildebeest from migrating across the river. So Kibeth, yes, unfortunately that has been quite a topic of interest over the last week or so since those videos came back, and yeah, for me it's just absolutely, it blows my mind. Like, it's very don't even know how to begin with that one. Just so much traffic, so many people, and so many people doing things in a very unethical way. And again, a perfect example of people not respecting animal space, one, and also people interfering in wildlife, natural ways of wildlife. So yeah, very unacceptable behavior that happened there, and for me it was just mind-blowing as to how many vehicles. It wasn't just 1 or 2 vehicles, it was way too many vehicles to even count. So unfortunately, yeah, that's something that has caused a bit of an uprise, and yeah, people do need to report things like this, because I guess it's something that has gone kind of it has gone under the carpet or undercover for way too long, and people getting away with behavior like this. So yes, there definitely should be consequences to something like that, because yeah, that's interfering in wildlife more than you can ever even kind of comprehend. So yeah, I really do hope that something will come of that, because that kind of behavior is not really scary at all. But greed has a lot to do with it as well. Everyone just wants to get their perfect shot and that perfect photo. But again, if you just respect an animal's space and act in an ethical manner, that should never happen. So yeah, Jive Bunny again is agreeing with me in regards to respect and animals. If you just use those 2 key fundamentals of just respecting animals and wildlife, respect their habitat, leave wildlife as you find it, and also use ethics when in and around animals. I mean, we're in their environment, we're in their home, so the least we can do is respect them. Sorry folks, it's quite loud here, so just going to have a bit of a quiet moment to just take in this chaos, shall we? Are not necessarily always aggressive towards each other, and in fact you can often see zebra and rhinos grazing peacefully in open savannas or at waterholes or on open plains, but they do differ quite a lot. So zebra are mostly grazers. They do feed on a variety of grasses, whereas white rhinos, they will graze on different parts of the grass. So because of those square lips of those white rhino, they are adapted more for chomping shorter grass. That's why zebra, very important for the ecosystem, because zebra will come and they'll clear off that very thick top layer of the grass, allowing another layer of grass to be accessed by things like wildebeest and white rhino. That's why you can often see those 3 species grazing together. So zebra
Impact Foundation is a non-profit that uses the power of wildlife storytelling as a force for good. We create sustainable development projects that showcase conservation stories, empower people, and inspire environmental action. As a registered South African PBO, you can make a tax-deductible donation to the Wild Earth Impact Foundation. To find out more, visit our website.
My full name is Maxine Gaines. Most people that know me really well call me Max. I'm a mum. I have two boys. One is 16 years old and one is 14 years old. I'm a very, very proud mama of my two boys. I've just always been passionate about leopards. I'm passionate about their conservation. I'm just passionate about everything to do with leopards. I love them.
Join our expert guides at dawn for a live, immersive safari as the bush comes to life.
Found ourselves a chameleon, and look how it changed color.
Every sunrise brings new discoveries.
Pound for pound, a leopard is one of the strongest cats around.
Ask questions, share your thoughts, and connect with nature, live and in real time.
Great excitement, great happiness.
Start your day with adventure.
Can you hear that? The wild is calling.
Also find some people also having negative experiences with elephants. I still see this elephant walking off to the right, but I thought I saw maybe some more elephants just off to the left here. Could be a big breeding herd moving through. Nice little elephant pathways here, perfect for a little walk. When you see pathways like this, you just want to go for a nice long stroll and hopefully don't bump into any of the big five unexpectedly. So we just linked across to Camelthorn over in Botswana, where we had our mating fish eagles. So we'll keep an eye out for this fish eagle, but the first thing that caught my eye is all these hippos. There are so many hippos at this location, it is crazy. If you try to count them, I don't know if you'd manage to count them, but there are a lot of hippos all lying, enjoying the sunshine. So just like our crocodiles over at Tau, these hippos are enjoying basking in the sun, taking up that nice vitamin D. So I know a lot of people think it's quite uncommon to see hippo out of the water, but it is actually common to find hippo out of the water, especially in winter. In those cold winter days, they do come out and bask in the sunshine. It's just quite unusual to see quite so many hippo basking in the sunshine here. Isn't that crazy? They look like little guinea pigs just lying in the sand there. Giant guinea pigs just enjoying the sun. So you often hear lots of hippo squabblings going on here, hippo fights. Obviously, such a high amount of hippos all in the same area, it is common for them to have a lot of fights and altercations in this area. So just like crocodiles, they're enjoying the sun, enjoying the sunshine, and this is a nice soft sandy beach, perfect place for them to enjoy the sunshine, and also a perfect place for crocodiles to lay their eggs, although this area is quite busy when it comes to activity of hippos, elephants and other wildlife. So if a crocodile was to lay and make a nest somewhere here, they'd have to be quite cautious of where. So if you have a look here, it looks like it could be a hippo bull that had could have been in a fight. He's got a nasty wound on his rump there, so it could have been in a fight with another hippo bull. maybe got a nasty bite on the bottom. And this hippo skin is extremely sensitive to the sunlight, so you'll see they won't spend their whole day out in the sun. They'll often go back into the water because their skin is prone to drying out in the sun, so that's why they need to spend as much time in the water as possible. But during a nice cool winter's day, it's perfect time for them to catch up on their sun tanning. Isn't this such a cool sighting, just to see these very lazy hippos? I guess they had a busy weekend. Looks like they had quite a rough weekend, I must say. Monday is not treating them well. They're just taking it easy. So Jive Bunny just sent through a comment. Apparently Jive Bunny has just seen an African video of a honey badger at Old Donyo. So Jive Bunny, I have seen quite a few videos of honey badger at Old Donyo. Seems like honey badgers, they're always lurking around at night. You often catch them on camera traps. Lots of my camera traps, I've caught honey badgers in the act at night, sneaking around. We don't always see them because they are mostly a nocturnal creature, but they do come out during the daytime sometimes, but mostly they'll be more active at night, these honey badgers. Very good totem animal to have because they're very resilient. They can escape the claws of many predators. They've got that very floppy skin of theirs, which is difficult to grip and grab a hold of. Not many predators can kill a little honey badger. So if you're looking for an African animal as your totem, I would definitely pick a honey badger because they have a heart of gold, or heart of steel actually, very resilient. And many videos in the Kruger National Park of 2 or 3 leopards trying to take down a honey badger unsuccessfully. Even lions need to be very careful. Got our little hippo cave over there, so apparently this cave has been shared by hippos and crocodiles. Got some young crocodiles at the water's edge here, and of course lots more hippos. So Dark Mane Lover is asking a question about these hippos and how long can a hippo sunbath for until their skin starts peeling off from the scorching heat. So Dark Mane Lover, as I mentioned, on a nice cool winter's day like today, they could spend a few hours out of the water, but I don't think they could spend a whole day in the middle of summer, for example, when you've got temperatures of 29 to 35, 40 degrees. It would definitely be way too much for their skins. That's why hippos need to be very careful, especially solitary bulls, if they're in little pans during the dry season when those water levels are dwindling. They need to move before the water dries up so that their skin, they do not expose themselves to the sun too much. So lots of crocodiles. We had lots of luck today with our elephants, zebra, crocodiles and hippos. We've got lots of crocodiles lying at the water's edge here. Very healthy population. As I mentioned, this environment is perfect for these crocodiles. Nice sun basking spots. Lots of wildlife moving through here. Ooh, there's some giant crocodiles over there. As you can see, the lighter individuals have been lying in the sun for quite some time, very dustied, look like ghosts, little crocodile ghosts. But these guys that have just come out of the water, very dark in color still, and it's quite a massive crocodile there. Oops, sounds like a bit of commotion. So one of the longest or largest crocodiles ever recorded was measured up to about 6.17 meters or 20 feet, just over 20 feet. And there's a huge crocodile that was caught also in Tanzania. This was a incredible specimen, massive crocodile. So yeah, they can grow very, very big, and lifespan of about 70, on average I think 70 to 80 years, although some crocodiles have possibly been recorded to have lived longer than that, but yeah, incredible to see how big these crocodiles can get. So the biggest of all the crocodile species, we're talking about all the different crocodile species in Africa. Obviously salt water crocodiles can be the largest and heaviest of all of the crocodile species. Then you get the Nile crocodile, which is the second largest recorded size, and then you get the Orinoco crocodile, which is not a species I'm very familiar with, but they are generally very long crocodiles and more slender. So the Orinoco crocodiles are similar to what I know as the slender snouted crocodile, that very thin, long snout, and they're not able to catch as big prey. They mostly catch small little fish and little insects within the water. Their snouts are too thin and small to actually bring down big prey. So Jive Bunny has sent through a comment, I think it was here, that a giraffe surprised a hippo and literally jumped out of its skin. Alright, let's head across to one of our other locations where we have another reptile waiting for us. So we have a monitor lizard here that I feel like he's trying to disguise himself very well. They do blend in quite well to their surroundings. I know sometimes at over in Juma there's a few sneaky little monitor lizard basking spots that you would never know the monitor was there until it actually moved. So these monitor lizards can be found across sub-Saharan Africa, especially in and near river, water and wetlands or even floodplains, but they can move quite vast distances from one water source to another. Although they are semi-water dependent, unlike their cousins, the rock monitor, that can go for long periods of time not accessing any water. So those rock monitors can get much bigger, and they like to live in big crevices and holes in trees. Or at Mabula, we get some of these little Nile monitor lizards trying to sneak into our roof. We have a thatch roof there in our accommodation in Mabula. And occasionally there's a little Nile monitor trying to sneak into our roof. So Spasiankov has sent through a comment, apparently a honey badger at Oldonyo. There's very good footage to see, so have a look, Spas. I have seen a few videos of this honey badger over at Oldonyo. They do come at night, and you can see honey badgers during night drives, and for me camps are a very big attraction for those little terrorists. So honey badgers can be quite a nuisance in camps. They come and raid your garbage bins, so you always need to make sure you have safe, locked up, secure garbage areas so the honey badgers don't break in.
My name is Amy, and today we're going to be doing things a little bit differently.
My full name is Maxine Gaines. Best part of the job, gosh, I just love everything about guiding. I love being able to observe animal behavior and animals behaving naturally. So for me, that's by far the best part of the job. And so what we do here at Wild Earth is develop those connections with the people that are viewing, and maybe just light a little spark that says, you know what, I want to be involved in protecting this ecosystem.
Step away from your daily stress and escape into nature with Wild Earth. Immerse yourself in the wilderness and become part of the natural landscape. Watch as everything comes alive. Join us as we slow down our thoughts, put aside our distractions, and reconnect with the wild.
Out here, every wild moment counts, and as a Wild Earth explorer, you will not miss out. Watch the Wild Earth channel ad-free 24/7, and you can even rewind if you have missed out on something. Enjoy the behind-the-scenes video clips as well as fireside chat, or get the early offers on our travel experiences. It's the best way to stay connected and be part of the Wild Earth family.
I'm not too sure about that. I know hippos can hold their breath underwater between 6 to 8 minutes. I know most literature will say hippos can hold their breath for 4 to 6 minutes, but I've once recorded a hippo going underwater and I clocked it at 8 minutes. So yeah, it would be quite impressive if these monitor lizards could hold their breath underwater for longer than a hippo. But yeah, they're very well adapted and designed for living in aquatic environments. They do generally like to avoid humans, these monitors. As soon as they sense your presence, they normally quickly duck and dive, or very aggressively flick you with their tail. So do take caution. The tail can be quite nasty. I think I watched a video of, who was it? Trishala, ages ago, must have been about 3 years ago, and Trishala was watching a little baby leopard that was trying to attack a monitor lizard, and he kept getting flicked right on the nose, and this little leopard was not too happy with that. Amazing how a large lizard can ward off a bigger predator like a leopard. You often see these monitors walking along riverbanks, digging away, sniffing. They've got a very keen sense of smell. They'll sniff away for any eggs that might be submerged and hidden under the sand, and raid any nests that they can find. They'll also feed on frogs and crabs. I didn't know that they fed on crabs, but I'm sure if they found a crab in the water, they'll definitely feed on any crabs, rodents, and as I mentioned, little birds. And they do actually scavenge, so they will feed on carrion, any scraps from a kill. Quite versatile and well adapted to their environment. This lizard is just living the life. So they do have that forked tongue. We can't see it right now. His tongue is in his mouth. He has that forked tongue. As I said, it's almost like a snake's tongue, and that's because they have these little sensories. So they use their tongue as their main sense. So they use that tongue to sense any little particles in the air, bring the tongue back into their mouth, process those particles through what's known as the Jacobson's organ, and that is how they analyze this data and decide what is near them, what's close to them, if they pick up on anything that might be a good meal. I just love sightings of these lizards. If you do pull up in a game viewer next to them, often they think that they're blending in, which most of the time there actually are. You just sit very quietly and slowly bring your camera up and get a few photos before they realize you're sitting there watching them. Got his eyes closed again. He is napping so hard. Nice Monday afternoon nap. Their skin, these monitor lizards also have very thick and tough skin. So as we mentioned with the honey badger, how even with a predator, those honey badgers, it's almost impossible to get a hold of a honey badger's skin. Same as these monitor lizards, they have very thick reptile skin. So it's not easy for a leopard to just go up, or a lion to just quickly chomp through that skin of theirs. So yeah, makes it quite difficult to kill them. But fish eagles, I've seen fish eagles killing small monitor lizards. So they do need to be careful. I have seen leopards with them before, so yeah, it's not an easy meal to catch. These little monitor lizards. Ooh, martial eagle. I've seen a martial eagle with a monitor lizard. A nice snack for a martial eagle, so when they're roaming on the ground, they do need to be very careful and wary of those big birds of prey, because a big bird of prey would love to snack on a monitor lizard. And often you'll get their tails. Sometimes you see them with half of a tail. They might have escaped a predator or been in a fight. Maybe got on the wrong side of a crocodile, got caught raiding the nest. Noticed something. Alrighty, so we're back at Aldonio, and it has been quite a busy and active location here today. In Kenya, we've had lots of elephant activity, the zebra and elephant interaction. That was, quite interesting and entertaining to watch. The two different size animal bullies of the wildlife, or the animal kingdom, fighting with one another. We've still got our skew tusk elephant bull here that's been hanging around. So we've got lots of comments coming through. Thank you to all of our viewers for watching today. Peace to you, saying thank you. Thanks to all of our viewers. We've got Mr. Elemental that was watching from Maori, New Zealand. So thank you for watching. Hope you enjoyed the show. Jive Bunny has also sent through some comments about Aldonio and how busy and entertaining Aldonio was today. It was definitely the star of the show, quite active. So Jive Bunny is also saying thank you to the Zoomies, the rest of our FC team and Africam team. And peace to y'all. Thank you for joining us. Sorry you only managed to tune in late, but thank you for joining us anyway. I will be with you tomorrow live at the Waterhole as well. So from me and the rest of the Wild Earth team, I just want to wish you a fabulous Monday, and I look forward to being with you tomorrow here live at the Waterhole.
Welcome to Safari Spotlight. We're heading out on a journey of natural discovery through some of South Africa's most wilderness areas, the Greater Kruger, the Albany district of the Eastern Cape, and the mystical Waterberg. We're going to be searching for animals great and small, and the fantastic plants and landscapes that sustain them. If you like what you see on Safari Spotlight,